hearing you say that makes my stomach drop. Why is that so much worse?
Think about the power dynamic. Anger is peer-to-peer. I can be angry at you, you can be angry back. It implies passion.
I want you to picture a scenario that I think every single person listening has been in.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday. You are running so late. And not just, a little late. I mean, the kind of morning where you spill coffee on your shirt while you're driving.
Oh, the worst.
You hit every single red light, and you realize halfway to work, you left your laptop charger at home. You were stressed. You were sweating. You were at an emotional level of like -5.
The absolute worst kind of morning.
Right. So you sprint into the office, heart pounding. You look like a total mess. And a coworker you sort of know, let's call him Dave. He looks up, smiles, and asks, "Hey, how are you?"
Oh.
And without even thinking, without even pausing to breathe, you smile back and you say, "Good, how are you?"
And then you immediately walk away feeling like a complete sociopath.
Exactly. You feel like a fraud. You just looked Dave in the eye and told a bold-faced lie. But here's the thing I want to figure out today. I didn't actually lie, did I?
Yeah.
I feel like I was just following a script that I didn't even know I had memorized.
You absolutely were following the script. In fact, if you had answered honestly, if you had stopped and said, "Well, Dave, actually I'm covered in latte foam and I want to scream," you would have broken a fundamental social contract.
But isn't that kind of messed up? I mean, why do we even ask, "How are you?" if we genuinely do not want the real answer?
It feels that way, but that's because we're misinterpreting the data. In American culture, how are you it's not a question about your well-being. It's a calibration mechanism.
Calibration? What, like we're machinery?
In a way, yes. Think of it like a handshake
Uh-huh.
or like a ping to a server. It's the entry fee to the conversation.
Okay.
But more importantly, the answer you give isn't a description of your mood. It's a set of coordinates. It tells the other person exactly how much emotional labor they need to perform.
So it's not about truth. It's about efficiency.
Precisely. It's about friction. If you say good, the friction is 0. If you say I'm having a breakdown, the friction is maximum. And we have this whole coded language, this emotional ladder, where every specific word you choose signals exactly where you stand on that friction scale.
Okay, I want to climb this ladder because I feel like I mess this up constantly. I either overshare or I undershare, and people think I'm mad at them. So let's decode this. Start us at the top.
At the very, very top, you have the amazing or incredible tier.
Which I feel like I only hear from people who are trying to sell me something.
Or people who just got engaged, right?
Yeah.
If you hear amazing, incredible, or never better, you are dealing with one of two things.
Okay.
Either this person has just received life-altering news, they won the lottery, or you're just dealing with someone who is a very enthusiastic person.
The person who's had way too much caffeine.
Right. The signal here is, everything is perfect, join me in my joy.
Yeah.
But honestly, in a standard workplace, this is pretty rare. It's almost too much friction because it demands the other person get excited too.
Yeah, it demands a reaction. Okay, so let's step down to the one we hear a million times a day. Good. Just plain old good.
Good is the default setting. You did the beige paint of emotional vocabulary. When you say, "I am good," you aren't saying, "I am happy." You're saying, "I am functioning normally enough that we do not need to discuss my inner life right now."
It's a shield.
It's a polite barrier. It keeps the interaction smooth. It's like the skip intro button on Netflix.
Okay, but here's where I get tripped up, and I think I disagree with some of the common wisdom on this. What about pretty good?
Ah, the trap.
To me, logically, pretty good sounds better than good, Like, good is fine, but pretty good has a little sparkle. It sounds more positive.
See, that is the trap, and so many people fall into this. You're looking at the definition of pretty as an intensifier, like very. But in this specific cultural context, pretty is actually doing negative work.
Explain that, because if I tell you my dinner was pretty good, I liked it.
True, but if I ask how you are and you pause and you say, "I'm pretty good," the tone shifts. If good is a solid 7 out of 10, pretty good is like a 6.5. It means mostly good, but there's a little asterisk somewhere.
The asterisk.
Exactly. It signals, I'm mostly fine, but maybe I'm tired, or, maybe it's just a Tuesday. It's slightly less confident than good.
Wow. I have definitely been using that wrong. I've been using pretty good when I'm in a great mood, thinking I'm being humble.
And you've been accidentally telling people you're slightly disappointed with your life.
Oh, man. Okay, so if we go lower, what's next?
Next, we hit the survival tier. This is where we find not bad.
Not bad. The stoic classic.
It is deeply stoic.
Yeah.
Not bad essentially translates to things aren't great, but they also aren't terrible. I am surviving.
It feels very Midwestern dad to me.
It is. But my absolute favorite in this tier is can't complain.
Oh, can't complain is fascinating because it's literally not true. You definitely could complain.
Right, but think about the logic of the phrase. Can't complain.
Yeah.
It implies I possess the ability to complain. I have things to complain about, but I am choosing not to burden you with them.
It's like a little badge of honor. I am suffering in silence for your benefit.
Exactly. It acknowledges that life is hard without actually asking for help.
Okay, so those are all safe. Good, not bad, can't complain. We're all just, surviving capitalism together.
Pretty much.
But at what point on the ladder should I actually be worried about someone? Like, what's the warning flare that says, hey, I actually need you to stop and listen?
The biggest yellow flag, and people miss this all the time because it sounds so innocuous, is the phrase, I'm okay.
I'm okay. Really? That sounds fine. It sounds like good.
It sounds fine to the untrained ear, but in the American code, okay is notably less positive than good. If you ask a friend, how are you? And they look at you, maybe break eye contact and say, I'm okay, that's a signal.
It's the lack of enthusiasm.
It's the intentional deviation from the script. They didn't say the automatic good. They chose a word that implies mediocrity. They're waiting for you to ask the follow-up question.
So if I hear I'm okay and I just say great and walk away, I'm being a jerk.
You are failing the social test. Yes. The correct response to I'm okay is just okay. What's going on? You have to poke at it a little.
Okay. Let's go deeper into the danger zone. What about hanging in there?
Hanging in there is the classic cat on the poster response. It means I am struggling, but I am coping. It implies that life is taking active effort right now.
And I've been better.
I've been better is a direct invitation. That is someone opening the door. They are telling you flat out things are bad.
So if you don't follow up on that one.
If you don't ask why after that, you are essentially rejecting their bid for support. It's a big deal.
And then I assume at the very bottom, there's the nuclear option, the phrase that just stops the conversation dead.
The nuclear option. It usually starts with one specific word.
Let me guess. Honestly.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah. Honestly. Not great.
As soon as you hear the word honestly, the social performance is over. The curtain has dropped. They are signaling, I am no longer doing the polite thing. I am telling you the truth.
And that's when you stop what you're doing.
You stop what you're doing, you put your phone down, and you listen.
It is wild how much weight these little throwaway phrases carry. But here's the tricky part, and I think this is where I get into trouble. You can't just use any rung of the ladder with anyone, right?
No, absolutely not. Context is king. There's a concept called the Rule of Closeness, which dictates which answers are legally available to you based on your relationship.
Okay, let's play this out. Let's talk about the overshare. We've all been there. You're at the grocery store. You ask the cashier, hi, how are you? Just to be polite.
Right. And you're expecting good you.
Exactly. So you be the cashier. I'm checking out.
Okay. Beep, beep. Hey, how are you?
Honestly, I've been better. My back is killing me. My landlord is evicting me, and I just don't know what I'm doing.
And I am already backing away. See?
Yeah.
You can feel it. It's too much information.
You physically recoiled. I feel terrible saying it, but you do. You pull back.
Of course you do. Because you broke the rule of closeness. Strangers and acquaintances, the barista, the mail carrier, they only get the top half of the ladder. They get good, not bad, maybe, can't complain.
Why do we recoil, though? Is it just because we're mean?
No, it's because of that friction we talked about. You entered a low-stakes transaction, buying eggs, and they suddenly demanded high-stakes emotional labor.
Yeah.
You aren't equipped for it.
Right.
But then you flip it. If I come home to my partner and they ask, how are you? And I just robotically say, good, fine, good. Every single day.
Then you're stonewalling. You're pushing them away.
Giving a stranger the truth is oversharing. Giving a partner only good is distancing. The skill isn't just knowing the words. It's knowing who has earned the right to hear them.
It's like a security clearance system for your feelings.
That is a perfect way to put it. You don't give top secret clearance to the guy checking your ID at the gate.
Now, speaking of confusing words, we have to talk about the phrase that I think drives non-native speakers absolutely insane.
Oh, I know this one.
And that is the phrase, I'm good.
Ugh, yes. The Swiss Army knife of American English.
It is baffling. It means everything and nothing. I remember a colleague from Germany who was so confused because we use I'm good to mean no.
Right. And yes. And stop hurrying.
It's all context, so let's rapid fire this. If I offer you more coffee and you say, I'm good.
I mean, no thanks. I am satisfied. I do not want more.
But if you trip and fall and I run over and say, are you hurt? And you say, I'm good.
I am not injured. Please stop looking at me. I am embarrassed.
Okay. And if we're leaving the house and I say, are you ready? And you say, I'm good.
I mean, yes, let's go.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why do we use one phrase for refusal, reassurance, and readiness?
It comes back to that efficiency thing. I'm good is the ultimate low-friction phrase. It's a way of just closing the loop.
It's a way of closing the tab.
Exactly. It signals status complete.
Yeah.
But you can see why it causes chaos.
For sure. But you know, while I'm good is super vague, there's a whole new set of words entering our vocabulary that is extremely specific. And this is what I really want to dig into.
The therapy vocabulary explosion.
Yes. This is a huge cultural shift. In the last 10 years, we have taken words that used to only exist in a clinician's office and moved them into, like, brunch conversation.
Boundaries, trauma, narcissist, gaslighting. You hear them constantly.
And on one hand, this is great, right? We have better tools to describe our inner lives. 10 years ago, if you were overwhelmed by doing everyone's emotional work, you just felt tired.
Now you can say, I am doing too much emotional labor. Naming it helps.
But, and I feel like there is a big but coming here, are we using these words correctly? Because I feel like I see a lot of what some researchers call concept creep.
Concept creep is real, and it can be dangerous. It's when a clinical term expands its meaning downwards to include just normal, everyday unpleasantness.
And toxic is the poster child for this.
Oh, for sure. Toxic used to mean a relationship that was psychologically damaging, poisonous. Now, people use it to describe a boss who's just slightly annoying.
My barista gave me almond milk instead of oat milk. So toxic.
Exactly. And here's why that matters. When you label a normal conflict as toxic, you stop trying to solve it. You just cut it off. You can't reason with a toxin, you just remove it. It makes us less resilient.
It turns life into a black and white movie. You're the villain, I'm the victim.
Precisely. And we see it with gaslighting, too. True gaslighting is serious psychological abuse, manipulating someone into questioning their own sanity.
Right.
But now, people use it to mean, you disagreed with my version of the story.
Or just, you lied to me.
Lying isn't gaslighting. Lying is just lying. But when we use the therapy word, it gives our grievance more weight. It makes us feel like we have the moral high ground.
It feels like we're weaponizing therapy language to win arguments. Like if I say you're crossing my boundaries, that sounds like a clinical fact, not just, hey, I don't like what you're doing.
Exactly. Boundaries are supposed to be about what you will do. If you yell, I will leave the room. That's a boundary.
Okay.
But people use it to control others. My boundary is that you aren't allowed to talk to your ex. That's not a boundary, that's just a rule.
That is a controlling rule dressed up in a therapy sweater.
A therapy sweater.
Yeah.
Yes. And it shuts down conversation because who wants to argue against boundaries?
So we have these powerful tools for diagnosing our lives, but we're maybe getting a little sloppy with them.
We are. And oddly enough, while we are hyper-vocal about trauma, there is one very basic human emotion that Americans still seem terrified to express, at least in a professional setting.
Anger.
Anger. In corporate America, saying, I am angry is almost taboo. It's seen as too raw, too out of control.
So what do? We just suppress it?
We intellectualize it. We use substitutes. Instead of, I'm angry, we say, I'm frustrated.
I'm frustrated. Yeah, I use that. It sounds safer. It sounds like I'm trying to solve a puzzle, not that I'm about to flip a table.
Frustrated implies you're blocked from a goal. Angry implies you've been wronged. It's a big difference. Or we formalize it. We need to talk.
Oh, that's code for, I am furious, but I am going to wear a tie while I yell at you.
Exactly. But there is one phrase, one specific phrase that I think is actually worse than saying, I'm angry.
The ultimate weapon.
I know exactly where you're going. I'm disappointed.
Oof. Even hearing you say that makes my stomach drop. Why is that so much worse?
Think about the power dynamic. Anger is peer-to-peer. I can be angry at you, you can be angry back. It implies passion. But disappointment. Disappointment is top-down.
It's parental.
It is. It implies judgment. If your boss says, I'm angry about this report, you think, okay, I can fix the report. If your boss says, I'm disappointed in you, you think, I have failed as a human being.
It targets your character, not just your work.
Exactly. It creates shame. And shame is a much harder emotion to process than anger.
Wow, so we're really in a minefield here. Okay, let's zoom out. We've got the ladder where we pretend everything is good. We've got this explosion of therapy speak. What does this all tell you about us right now?
It tells us that American emotional culture is currently living in a massive paradox. On one hand, we have this intense positivity default in person, this rigid social rule in the break room that says, you must be frictionless, you must be good.
Right.
But on the other hand, especially online, we are living in a golden age of vulnerability.
That is so true. I know more about my internet friends' mental health than I do about my actual neighbors.
Exactly. We have a culture where you can tell your coworker, I'm good, 5 times a day, and then go home and write a 3-page Instagram caption about your anxiety disorder.
The stoic in the office, the poet on Instagram.
And that's the tension. We've professionalized our feelings. We've decided that messy emotions belong on the internet or in therapy. But our day-to-day interactions need to be as efficient as a software transaction.
Which is kind of sad, isn't it? It feels like we're losing the middle ground, the space where you can just be, a regular amount of messy with a regular friend.
We are losing the messy middle, and that's where actual connection happens. Not in the performative good and not in the trauma dump, but in the, actually, today was kind of weird. Let me tell you about it.
So, for everyone listening, the next time someone asks you, how are you? Maybe just pause for a second. You don't have to give them the trauma dump, but maybe don't give them the automatic good either.
Try a pretty good. I mean it. Or try honestly, it's been a long week. Just test the waters.
Be a little bit of friction in a frictionless world. Thanks for diving in with us today.
Anytime. See you next time.